So good morning, everyone. Jeff, can you hear me? Just want to make sure I got a good sound check.
Sound is good.
All right, perfect. Don't know how many people are on board yet, but I think there's a few of you there. How this will work today is we've gone back and taken lesson 1 from the Science of Mind textbook from a couple of weeks ago in January, when I taught it the first Sunday of January. We're going to take that lesson and rebroadcast just the lesson part of it, and then we'll do a question and answer, and then I've got a couple other things I wanted to discuss with you today. So in the process, you have the ability to ask questions. So just write your questions down and put them in the comment section there on the website, and we will get to them. Jeff will read them off as we go, as we come back out of the video. And I hope you enjoy it. Good Monday morning. It looks like it's for those of you who are joining us here in the desert, it looks like it's a beautiful blue sky Monday morning. And I'm looking forward to having this time with you today. And we have a very active week together. So as we come up on the 10 o'clock hour, it will start broadcasting live, or the service will start broadcasting. So I'm going to turn my video and my audio off, and I will be with you as soon as the video is over. All right. So enjoy the video, enjoy the lesson, and I will be back with you in just a few moments. Thanks for joining us today. Hey there. Okay, so Jeff, can you hear me? Are we there? Anybody?
Hi, Dr. Joe. Sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time.
Sorry about that.
Trying to answer questions on the main page. It looks like some people misunderstood that the top video, which is labeled the Science of Mind Class 1,
Uh-huh.
they were trying to watch your video, which is only live right now, and they were misunderstanding. So we've been putting that information in there. They just simply had to refresh the page. They had to click the upper button and watch the class, and then you would come back on and answer questions.
Okay. So we probably still have a lot of people watching the course itself.
Yeah, so let's hang loose till maybe like 10:35. I have 10:27 right now, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. And anybody who did it the other way, just hang out. We'll be right with you. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Hang out. Okay, we're just waiting for a few other people to finish watching the video, and then we'll get started on our questions. We'll have it more clearly spelled out for you on Friday, I promise. Click this box first at 10 o'clock, then click here at 10:30 for the Q&A. That's how we can do that, make it life a lot easier. So, Jeff, are we good to go?
Yes, Dr. Joe.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, so we already have one question. One question came in. It says, what are your thoughts on the role of the past, meaning trauma or mistakes, and aligning with the thing itself? I found that I have to do a lot of deep inner work. We call it shadow work, or I create unconscious versions of the past over and over. Well, if you think about the spiritual law itself, the thing itself, once something has manifested and it's already played out, if you will, then the universe just moves on. We don't. It moves on to the next thing. It's waiting for us to move on to the next thing. And it has already moved on to the next thing. Many times we don't have that, the expediency in which the universe, closes one chapter and starts another one. So I don't think the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, the thing itself doesn't care about our past. It's already done. It's in manifested form. The only one who cares about it and who gives it any energy and any attention is me. I'm the only one who does that. No one else does that. The universe doesn't say, hey, I really want you to contemplate this or look at this. No. My own psyche wraps its head around a situation. And of course, sometimes if you're like me, you'll replay it over and over and over and over in your head. And what you're doing is you're basically replaying the ending of a movie over and over and over, and you never get to the place where the credits wrap up at the end, the lion roars, and you're done. You never leave that theater in your mind. It just continues to play over and over and over. So a lot of our shadow work or our need to look at the past, it's because we've allowed it to become ingrained in our psyche, in our paradigm, and in our unconscious mind. But the universe, spiritually speaking, the universe doesn't want that stuff ingrained. It says, what's happened in the past is past, Joe. Let it go, move on. Don't let this, color who you think you are in the future. You are pure spirit expressing. You are pure love expressing. You are pure joy expressing. You had a speed bump, move on, move up, move over it. So I think that's the way I look at that. Hopefully that answers your question. We don't have to, the universe doesn't require us to go into a period of review. Many of us go into that review session simply because we are having trouble letting go, just letting it go and calling it a past experience. I hope that answers your question. All right, Jeff, any other questions so far? Because I got a couple things if they don't.
No, sir, no questions.
No questions. All right, so I'm going to go back into the textbook. There are a couple other things I wanted to bring up. The karmic law is not kismet. It is not fate, but cause and effect. It is a taskmaster to the unwise, a servant to the wise. Let me say that again because I messed it up. The karmic law is not kismet. It is not fate, but cause and effect. It is a taskmaster to the unwise, a servant to the wise. So when we're talking about how all thought is creative, this concept of all thought is creative, when we look at this, it can be a taskmaster, the universe, its creativity, its energy can be the taskmaster. In other words, it can continue to create by means of us and just pushes out all kinds of demonstrations in our life, in our health, in our relationships, in our finances, in our creativity. It can be the taskmaster which actually helps you achieve all those things. It just punches out your good. Now that's to the person who knows how to use it wisely. To the person who doesn't know how to use it wisely, we become servant to it. we're constantly putting out the fires, if you will, that we've created by not using it properly. It is our taskmaster. It is, I know this myself by my own personal experience. When I wake up in the morning, if I decide that this is going to be an incredibly organized day and efficient, and I'm going to get things done, the universe conspires to create that. Now, likewise, if I don't use it wisely, I am also allowing myself to go into a place where the universe says, okay, watch Joe. Joe, you want disorderly and chaotic? Here, you shall have it, and you shall have it abundantly. And at the end of the day, I'm frustrated because I didn't accomplish anything. Well, I never set my intention to accomplish anything other than, what am I going to do today? Big question mark. All right. So that's one of the things I wanted to bring up. It looks like we've got a question. With the fear of the coronavirus and keeping safe, are people attracting the virus by focusing on avoiding getting sick? Well, I'm not sure if okay, here you go. The absolutist view is yes. If you are a religious scientist and you are an absolutist, then we will attract into our experience that which we are thinking about, which is why I keep telling people, stop watching TV. Give yourself a few minutes each day to get the information you need. But other than that, just follow the orders that are in place, put in place by scientists and city officials who said, do this and we can make this experience pass quickly. If we do this, if we do that, that to me is where we focus on it. Now, it's very easy to slip in, and I have slipped into the mind of, becoming absorbed by it and, being kind of, I'll just say it, being like petrified to even, talk to anybody or touch anything that anybody has touched. And I went through that phase a while back. And all I can say is, yes, I think you can attract it into your experience, just like anything else. When you, it's funny, you talk to some of the, you've seen those stories where you have the marathon, the triathlete runners, and they die of like a heart attack or something like that. And you talk to their spouses or their friends, and they said, yeah, they always feared that they would do that. And so were they running to stay healthy, or were they running away from illness? There's the difference. Are we running to stay healthy? Are we exercising to stay healthy? Or are we running away from a situation that we continue to run from, and it continues to run with us? I hope that makes sense. So we have to be careful that we're not attracting illness or dysfunctional relationships or financial struggle. Yes, those things may fall out as a result. And yes, I'm very much of the Troward. I'm not so much of a religious science absolutist as I am with Thomas Troward, who believed that you could be in the wrong place at the wrong time and err through and have something through error, accident, or mistake. But for the most part, I do believe that you can attract whatever that is in your consciousness. All right. It is naive to want to walk out of the house mask free and take a breath of fresh air. I'm so grateful for the blessings. Don't feel I should live in a state of fear, but I'm being careful. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I mean, I walk out into my yard and I take a deep breath in, and, Trey and I will go for a bike ride, and I'll come home and we'll have my mask on, and I'll go in and take a big, deep inhale of the air that's outside. I also think, out of respect for those people who are more vulnerable, and if I can in any way, shape, or form, my behavior curtail someone else from getting sick, I need to be very cognizant of how I participate in that process. So the way I'm sort of reconciling that is, I'm saying to myself, I'm doing what's best for myself, and what I've been told is best for other people. So I could take a guilt-free, big inhale. I'm not doing it at Albertsons, but I wouldn't do it at Albertsons anyway. I want to do it when I'm outside in my fresh air at home, and just take that moment and just breathe and not worry about the mask shaming in that moment, because it's just me and nature right there. but then I'd put it right back on and off I go. All right. My problem is with this philosophy is that it seems to blame people for circumstances they can't control. People born with severe disabilities or into war-torn areas. I reject the idea that baby chooses to be abused. I totally agree with that. How do you reconcile these realities with the law of attraction? Okay, when we talk about the law of attraction, I'll give you an example. I totally agree. This is one of those things that, like I said, which is a Troward idea, which Troward was one of Dr. Ernest Holmes' teachers. I don't think people are born into experiences where they're meant to experience these things. There is no way, and this was the hardest thing in my ministry, to talk to a mother who lost a new child, a brand new baby who the baby made her transition. And you can't just say you attracted that into your experience. It makes no sense. It violates every natural law and rule in our minds and the paradigm. But I do have to share with you this. Excuse me. I knew of a person, a woman who had a child, and all throughout the entire pregnancy, this woman was very concerned that this baby was going to be very sick and develop some sort of dis-ease. And all throughout that childhood, all throughout the pregnancy, and all throughout when the child was born, there was this underlying, and actually it wasn't even underlying, it was very on the surface. It was articulated quite often, these fears that happened, that could happen to this child. And now I'm not sure how it happened. I can't explain it, but the child ended up getting very, 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 very sick, very sick. And with a life-threatening dis-ease that thank you God, she went through and survived. But the fear, the overwhelming fear of that condition was obviously felt by that child. The innocent absorption of that fear. That happens to us as adults. We absorb the fears of other people. And it can have an impact on what we do. There's people born in war-torn countries and those other things. I have no idea how to explain that away, other than I've also seen people born in war-torn countries rise above the conditions that they're in and excel in areas and in places that were totally by surprise, that they transcended those things. I don't think anybody is sentenced into a place to have a life of that suffering. I also think that Dr. Holmes, in effects, he talks about it. We are given a life, once we are born, of free choice and free will. And at some point, we have to exercise that. We have to exercise that to remove whatever situations we want to remove ourselves from. And I've seen the power of people do that. And I've also seen the power of people reconciling and saying, this is my lot in life. And there's acceptance. And it could be as severe as it being in a country where there's horrible things, or it can be in a situation where people are just saying, I am destined to be in lousy relationships, and they accept them. It's our acceptance of it. And when we have this newfound awareness that there's this possibility that we can do something, then we should do something. I wish I could explain the other part. There are no explanations to some of those things. One of my first teachers said to me, Joe, there are going to be questions in your life that you will never be able to answer. And so you're going to have to ask the different question, because there's certain things that we will never be able to figure out in this lifetime. All right, I got a couple more real quick. It sounds like forgiveness of self is an important step in getting over the past, which continues to reply in our minds and letting go. Forgiveness, surrender, and also, see, the problem is people go forgive and forget. We don't forgive and forget. We forgive and remember. I don't know anybody that's ever forgiven and forgotten that it happened to them. I know I haven't. I don't think. I always remember that. But the problem that I have is forgive and forget, forgive and release it, let it go, Don't let it hold you in bondage anymore. And then refuse to go dig it up again on special occasions when we feel the need to either subject someone else to some pain that they have caused us, or to subject ourselves to what it feels like to have experienced that pain and feeling badly about ourselves, and then also do that again for ourselves, go back and relive it. So that I agree with that. I think that there are pre-life soul agreements for the soul's lessons and growth. And I've had a child transition, finding lessons or silver lining situations of extreme something. It cut it off. All right. And I will agree. I totally concur with this. As challenging and as horrific as some things are in our life, losing children, war, this illness, people dying all around us, there's something that we get from those things to inform us and develop us into ways that we become more empathetic, more gentle, more kind, more compassionate, more empathetic. We realize and appreciate, and we come from a greater place of gratitude. I always hate saying this, but sometimes I watch things that happen to other people and it reminds me to be more alive in my own life, to be more forgiving, to be more grateful, to be more open, to let things that appear to be overwhelming, let them slide and let them move into a different expression, instead of allowing myself to just hang on to something that no longer serves me and hasn't served them. But I hesitate to always say silver linings, but I always say that there is always something that comes from everything. That no matter what the situation is, good comes from everything. There is a lesson to be learned from everything. And when you hear that and that you're going through the crap, it doesn't feel like it. It certainly doesn't feel like it at the time. And you're going, I don't want to be someone else's example. But the reality is, when we look back on it, we go, okay, I've learned this and I've learned that and I've learned this. This time that we have sequestered is definitely going to be one of those experiences. Definitely going to be one of those experiences where we have the opportunity to learn how to see the world differently from our own homes and on a global basis. All right, moving along. As we've been taught to be careful of our word choices, please give us a guideline as to language when we pray for the world returning to health. Example, do we use eradicate, or would it be better to say, I'm accepting world health and a solution by our scientists is created? Like everyone else, okay, like everything else, we don't pray anything out, we pray what we want in. So we're not praying the illness out. We're not praying this virus out. What we're doing is we're praying health in. So we're affirming that the intellect of the universe is working in and around and through those people who are researching and doing whatever is necessary for us to release what needs to be released and to accept the health which is ours, which is our divine birthright. So we can release and replace. We're releasing any fears and replacing it with our faith. We are releasing that which no longer serves us and affirming that which is our own true birthright. We don't even need to call it a virus. We just need to say, I'm accepting my perfect health. And I know that people are working to advance that state of perfect health, that the intellect and the mind of God is working in, around, and through them, and for all people to advance into the state of that perfection of health. That's how I would do that. All right. Let's see. Oh gosh. I'm getting these things saying new question. Change the experience. I don't understand this one. Change makes the experience tolerable or survivable. Change makes the experience tolerable or survivable. I'm agreeing. When we look at a situation and we change the way it looks, it allows us, our minds, to start creating a different storyline. in the see, and here's one of the biggest challenges that we have, um, in my mind, because there's so many different places that are bombarding us with facts, all right, or statistics, or um, whatever they believe the news to be. It's hard for us to assimilate that. And in the absence of knowing that truth, knowing what is really the truth, our mind makes up a story. And so a lot of people are moving ahead with the story that may or may not be true based on, things that they're just reading everywhere. That's part of our confusion at this time, is that if we have facts, if I have, certain things that line up and they sound right to me and they're logistically correct or statistically correct, and I trust them, then I'm able to like lean into that. But the problem is we're being inundated by all sorts of sources. So it makes it very, very challenging for us to come up with that idea, because we're still in a state of confusion. So in the absence of knowing the truth, our minds make up a story. So I do know this truth. The truth is that I do believe that there are researchers all over the world researching and working, scientists working diligently to create whatever needs to be created for our greater health to unfold. I do know that. And in the process of getting from here to there, I have to do what I believe is necessary and required by the people I trust, like my mayor and my city and my county. And I listen to them, my governor, and I listen to them, and I say, okay, I'm going to do what's being asked of me while these things are taking place. I hope that helps. Is it correct to believe that this pandemic happened as a result of many of the negative things on the planet, inequality and injustice or prejudices? Um, you know, I'm not going to get into the great debate, but I certainly would say that we've been asking for a change in the universe, to break down borders and religions and ethnic races, and this may, I don't have the answer, but it certainly appears that this could be something that is breaking down and creating a world that works for everyone, because everyone is on the same page as us for the first time. Not us, but everyone is on the same page. um, I don't know, I genuinely feel that this could be something that creates a sense of unity more than we've seen before, because we're seeing it in our own communities. So let's just know that it starts there and it will go out into the world. It, I don't know if it's a manifestation of um, I'm not sure what it is, to be brutally honest. I don't want to sit there and say yes, it's a manifestation, but it could be viewed as something. When we look at something in the past, we could say this was a big unifier. It could be a great divider, who knows? But it could also be a big unifier. All right. Uh, let's see. Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read these as I go along. Let's see. I have a rental property, a condo. My tenant texted me this morning asking if I could give her a discount on rent in May. I have no income right now and the place isn't paid off. And I give her a great rate already. What is the right thing to do? You know what? I'm going to just answer this by saying whatever it is in your heart to do, you do. Whatever it is in your heart to do, you do. Um, I don't ever give people advice on things like this. I just say you have to listen to what your heart is telling you to do, and you do it. And you do it, whatever that is. If you want to give her a break, for a bigger break, or if you say I can't afford it, there's no way for me to do this, then you just have to be honest and be in integrity, no matter what you do. Be authentic, address it with love and compassion, no matter what you do, and just come from the heart and let it and answer it from that place in the heart. You can't ever go wrong by doing the right thing that your heart tells you to do. When your heart tells you to do it, then you know you've actually done that. You've actually set it straight. So, all right, let's see. No more questions right now, and it's right at the top of the hour. So we made this the hour. That was great. I hope you enjoyed that. Couple quick announcements. Don't forget, tomorrow, Reverend Charles and I will be here doing question and answers at 10 o'clock. On Wednesday, we've got 6 ministerial students scrambling it up online. We're going to help them do a presentation. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thursday, we have a concert with Gary Lynn Floyd. So Thursday at 10 a.m. in the morning, Gary Lynn Floyd and I will be doing a concert and conversation. Reverend Laura has her Success and Inner Peace class at 2 o'clock. On Friday, we're going to teach chapter 2. We'll watch the video for 30 minutes and then log in and have this Q&A. And please continue to support the center. We are doing this because we want to be able to reach out into the community at a time when the community needs it most. And we also need your help the most right now, because obviously we're not, meeting on Sundays or having classes. So it does require that we count on your support. So if you haven't done so already, please go to our website. There's a button on this page that you can click on. It'll take you to a place where you could contribute, and every penny helps. Literally every penny, 5 cents, $5, 500, 5 million, whatever that is. Whatever you can do is greatly appreciated on a consistent basis, so that we can consistently do what we're doing and try to, during this period of time, give you some spiritual tools for your tool belt that will help you grow and expand. So thank you so much for joining me. We will talk to you, or Charles and I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Have a great day. Go outside, take a deep breath in, and then put your mask on and go do your work, whatever you have to do. Be safe, everybody. Respect everything, and let's just keep moving. We'll keep moving through this process. Bless you. Have a good day. Thank you.